Most men over 60 think wine is the enemy of erections, and in many cases that's true. Some alcohol can absolutely wreck your performance. But here's what no one tells you. The right wine, in the right amount, can actually help you get and stay hard without pills, without pressure, and without shame. I'm Dr. William Mark. For over 30 years, I've helped thousands of men recover their performance, confidence, and intimate connection naturally. And what I'm about to show you isn't based on hype or guesswork. It's grounded in science and real-world results. There are 5 specific wines that can dramatically improve your blood flow, protect your testosterone, and support your erections in ways you probably never imagined. And yes, you can enjoy wine without sabotaging your health, if you know which ones to choose and how to drink them right. In this video, you'll learn exactly what to drink, when, how often, and why it matters more than ever at your age. And I'll reveal one wine you absolutely must avoid, because it could be secretly killing your sexual vitality from the inside out. Before we dive in, if you're ready to reclaim your confidence and feel like yourself again, take a second to subscribe and turn on notifications. And if you're already excited to learn what these wines can do for your erections, type the number 1 in the comments. If not, type 0. I still want to hear from you. Ready? Good. Because we're starting with one of the most powerful wines for restoring blood flow and morning wood, and it's probably already in your kitchen. Let's talk about Pinot Noir. 1. Pinot Noir, the heart saver and blood flow booster. I still remember the look in George's eyes when he walked into my office. He was 67, confident in business but lost in the bedroom. "Doc," he said, "I feel like I'm fading out." He had tried pills, performance supplements, even those strange herbal blends from late-night ads, but nothing brought back the solid, lasting confidence he used to know. That's when I introduced him to something completely unexpected: a glass of Pinot Noir. Yes, wine. But not just any wine. Pinot Noir, one of the richest natural sources of resveratrol, a compound proven to help open up arteries, boost blood flow, and reduce the stiffness that slowly chokes off circulation to the penis. At George's age, his arteries weren't blocked, but they were stiff, less responsive. That meant his erections weren't full, and they didn't last. Resveratrol acts like a mechanic for your arteries. It tells your blood vessels to relax, to open up, to let the blood move the way it used to. It supports endothelial function, the vital lining of your blood vessels, and improves nitric oxide signaling, which is the body's own erection switch. Better circulation means more volume, more pressure, and more confidence in those intimate moments. George started noticing firmer, earlier morning erections within 3 weeks. "Doc," he told me, "I don't know if it's the wine or what, but I feel like I'm back." But let me be crystal clear. This isn't an excuse to drink like you're 25 again. The power is in moderation. 1 glass. That's all it takes. 5 ounces, ideally with dinner, 3 to 4 nights per week. Never on an empty stomach, never as a quick fix. This isn't about numbing stress. It's about building your foundation back up from the inside out. What makes Pinot Noir so special isn't just the resveratrol, it's the whole package. The grape is thin-skinned, grown in cool climates, which gives the wine its light profile. Low in sugar, lower in alcohol, but rich in polyphenols. You're getting the benefits without the hormonal backlash. That's critical for men over 60, whose testosterone is already declining. Pinot Noir gives you blood flow without sabotaging your hormones. And here's where things get even better. Combine that 1 glass of Pinot with nitrate-rich foods like beets, spinach, or arugula, foods that increase nitric oxide, and you amplify the effect. Add a 15-minute walk after dinner to push that oxygen-rich blood throughout your system. Now you're not just sipping wine, you're engineering better erections. George wasn't the only one. I've since shared this tip with dozens of patients in their 60s, 70s, and even 80s. The results are consistent. Better morning wood, less reliance on pills, and more natural, spontaneous arousal. Most importantly, a sense of dignity returns. There's something quietly powerful about knowing your body still works, that you still work. That's what Pinot Noir gives you. If you're new to wine, don't overthink it. You don't need an expensive bottle. Just look for a dry Pinot Noir from Oregon, Burgundy, or New Zealand, and always read the label. You want the wine, not the sugar. Avoid the sweet stuff. Dry is your friend. One more thing I always remind my patients: timing matters. Drinking Pinot Noir right after work, especially when stressed, can actually blunt its effects. Stress triggers cortisol, a hormone that restricts blood flow and suppresses testosterone. That's why I recommend enjoying wine during a relaxed evening meal, not in front of the TV or while doom scrolling on your phone. Create a ritual around it: light music, meaningful conversation, and slow, intentional sips. You're not drinking for escape. You're drinking to support your system. Pinot Noir isn't about numbing out. It's about waking up. And if you approach it that way, you'll find it gives far more than it takes. In the hands of a man who's ready to reclaim his health, this wine becomes a signal to the body that it's time to rise again. Start slow. 1 glass, good food, gentle movement. Let your body respond. Let it remember. Let it recover. And just like George, you might find yourself waking up to a life that feels fuller, firmer, and more yours than it has in years. That's the power of Pinot Noir. That's the start of your comeback. 2. Cabernet Sauvignon, the testosterone defender. Harold was 68 when he first walked into my office, a retired Navy officer with decades of discipline behind him. But he sat down, sighed, and admitted something few men ever say out loud. "Doc, I don't feel like a man anymore." His energy had dipped, his desire was fading. Erections? Weak, unpredictable, sometimes non-existent, and he feared this was the beginning of the end. But what he didn't realize, and what most men over 60 don't know, is that there's a quiet solution hiding in plain sight. Cabernet Sauvignon. Yes, wine, but not just any wine. Cabernet Sauvignon contains a powerhouse of compounds that defend your body's most vital male hormone, testosterone. I'm talking about flavonoids like quercetin, polyphenols, and antioxidants that reduce oxidative stress in your testicles. That might sound like a fancy term, but here's what it really means. Your testosterone is under attack every day, from inflammation, toxins, poor sleep, processed foods, and even stress. And the Leydig cells in your testes, which are responsible for producing testosterone, are silently getting worn out. But Cabernet steps in like a bodyguard. It reduces the inflammation that destroys those cells. It protects the vascular system that supplies them. And it helps your body retain the testosterone it still knows how to make without pills, patches, or artificial boosts. I told Harold to start simple. Half a glass of Cabernet Sauvignon with dinner, 3 nights a week. No more, no less, and always with a balanced meal: greens, protein, healthy fat. After 6 weeks, he came back. His words: "It's working. I feel a fire again." That spark he was talking about? That's testosterone returning. Here's what most men don't realize. The issue often isn't a complete loss of testosterone. It's poor protection. Your body still wants to make it, but if you're not defending it, you're losing the battle before it even begins. Testosterone isn't just about sex. It's energy, motivation, mental clarity, and emotional resilience. And when you defend it with intention, like with Cabernet Sauvignon, you start to feel like yourself again. Now let me be clear. This isn't about drinking more. In fact, drink too much and you'll hurt the very hormone you're trying to protect. Moderation is key. 1 small glass with dinner, 2 to 3 nights a week. More than that, you risk liver stress, estrogen increase, and sleep disruption. All testosterone killers. But in the right dose, with the right habits, Cabernet becomes more than a drink. It becomes a strategy. Here's a simple tip. Pair it with zinc-rich foods like beef, pumpkin seeds, or spinach. Zinc is essential for testosterone synthesis. Combine that with the polyphenols in Cabernet, and you've got a 1-2 punch for hormonal health. Even better? Add movement. A 15-minute walk after dinner improves circulation, supports nitric oxide, and boosts the delivery of oxygen to your reproductive system. It's not just about wine, it's about what you do around it. Harold followed the plan. Wine, food, movement, sleep. And by week 8, he wasn't just getting erections again, he was initiating intimacy. His confidence returned. His marriage? Better than it had been in years. Because this wasn't about sex. It was about feeling like himself again. That's what Cabernet Sauvignon can help unlock. Not magic, but momentum. It gives your body the chance to remember what it's capable of. And when your testosterone is protected, your erections become fuller, your mood brighter, and your drive comes back. Not forced, but natural. So if you've been feeling flat, tired, disconnected from your masculinity, don't ignore it. Don't assume it's just age. You may still have more testosterone than you think. It just needs defending. And Cabernet Sauvignon? It might be the best bodyguard you've never considered. Respect the dose, pair it with nutrition, support it with lifestyle, and watch what happens. This is about giving your body the chance to rise again, and trust me, it still can. Number 3. Blueberry wine, the secret circulation weapon. There's a wine most men over 60 have never even heard of, let alone tasted. It doesn't show up on most restaurant menus. You probably won't find it stocked in your local grocery store next to the usual reds and whites. But make no mistake, this wine might be the missing link between you and the kind of erections you remember having years ago. It's called blueberry wine. And if that sounds strange, let me explain why this overlooked bottle might be the most potent circulation tool in your sexual health toolbox. I first recommended it to a man named Tom. He was 72, diabetic, and struggling. Pills had stopped working. His confidence had shrunk along with his erection quality. He sat in my office one afternoon, shoulders hunched, and said, "I just want to feel like a man again." That hit me hard. And I told him something that surprised even me the first time I learned it. "Have you ever tried blueberry wine?" He chuckled. "You mean, like, from fruit?" "Exactly. Blueberries are nature's tiny miracle. Packed with compounds called anthocyanins, a type of flavonoid, these berries have been shown to enhance what's called endothelial function. That's the health of the lining inside your blood vessels. And when those linings are flexible and responsive, blood flows better. It flows faster, and it flows where it needs to go. In men, that means stronger erections, especially for those whose biggest issue isn't testosterone, but blood flow. As we age, especially with conditions like diabetes or high blood pressure, our capillaries, the tiniest blood vessels, start to lose their elasticity. Blood doesn't surge the way it used to. You might feel desire, but your body doesn't deliver the follow-through. Blueberry wine helps restore that delivery system. I told Tom to try just half a glass, 3 times a week with dinner. He agreed, though he remained skeptical. 4 weeks later, he was back in my office, looking brighter, sitting taller. "Doc," he said, "I don't want to jinx it, but things are working again." That quiet victory, that sense of self slowly returning, is what makes my work worth doing. But this isn't just about one man. The science backs it up. Anthocyanins have been shown to improve nitric oxide production, reduce oxidative stress, and support the vascular system from the inside out. Combined with a clean meal, lots of greens, healthy fats, and lean proteins, you create a synergy that your aging body knows exactly how to use. For men who suffer from metabolic syndrome, prediabetes, or even mild hypertension, the choice of wine matters even more. Blueberry wine doesn't just support erection quality, it supports your whole cardiovascular network. I often remind my patients that the penis is like a performance gauge for your circulatory system. When blood flow is impaired there, chances are it's impaired elsewhere too. That's why changes you make for intimacy often improve your energy, mood, and even memory. There's also a psychological layer to this. Many older men begin to avoid intimacy, not because they've lost desire, but because they've lost confidence in their body's ability to keep up. But when you feel blood returning, when you start waking up with morning firmness again, that hesitation fades. You begin to re-enter connection, not out of duty, but because you genuinely want to. Tom told me his wife noticed the difference before he even said anything. "You're smiling more," she said. "You feel different." That's the ripple effect of treating your body well. It doesn't just impact you. It impacts your relationships, your mood, and your overall presence. Blueberry wine may be one of the least known tools in this fight, but it's one of the most quietly effective. And if you're skeptical, that's okay. I was too, once. But the data on anthocyanins, nitric oxide, and microcirculation doesn't lie. Give your body a chance to prove it. And remember, results come not from excess, but from consistent care. Make it a habit, make it enjoyable, and watch what happens next. Number 4. Rosé wine, the anti-inflammatory ally. Most men over 60 dismiss rosé wine without a second thought. It's pink, it's light, it's often seen as a drink for summer patios or casual gatherings. Not exactly what you'd expect when talking about erectile strength, hormone balance, and male performance. But that's where the story gets interesting, because behind that gentle color is one of the most powerful natural allies you have against a hidden enemy: inflammation. Let me introduce you to Frank. He was 71, a retired construction foreman. Big hands, no-nonsense attitude, and zero interest in what he called fancy drinks. He came to see me after months of what he described as incomplete performance. "Doc," he said, "I can start the engine, but I can't keep it running. It's driving me crazy." His labs showed borderline blood sugar issues, mild prostate swelling, and something a lot of men overlook: elevated CRP levels. In plain terms, his body was inflamed. Now, inflammation might sound vague, but it's one of the most persistent enemies of sexual health in older men. Chronic low-grade inflammation affects your arteries, your hormone receptors, your nervous system. It narrows the blood vessels, disrupts communication between your brain and your body, makes your erections harder to achieve, and even harder to maintain. I told Frank, this isn't just about testosterone. This is about putting out the fire in your body first. And that's when I brought up rosé. At first he laughed. "You want me to drink pink wine?" "Yes," I said, "but only if you want better erections." What Frank didn't know is that quality rosé, especially those made from grapes like Grenache, Syrah, or Mourvedre, is rich in polyphenols, the same anti-inflammatory compounds found in red wine, but with a lighter alcohol load. That's crucial. Lower alcohol content means less disruption to your testosterone, but you still get the benefits of vascular protection and cellular repair. We started simple: 1 glass with a clean dinner, lean protein, leafy greens, olive oil, 3 or 4 nights per week. After a few weeks, Frank returned. "I didn't think it was doing anything," he said, "until one night it just worked. No panic, no pills, just me and my wife. It's been years since it felt that natural." That's the power of reducing inflammation. It's not flashy. It doesn't feel like a miracle overnight, but it creates the conditions for your body to do what it's supposed to do: respond to desire, build and hold an erection, recover smoothly after climax. And it doesn't stop at erections. Men who reduce inflammation report better sleep, more stable moods, and less joint pain. It's like wiping a fog off your windshield. Everything becomes clearer again. Rosé wine helps you get there gently. It supports blood flow without shocking your system. It soothes instead of stimulating. And because it pairs well with anti-inflammatory foods, salmon, avocado, dark greens, it becomes part of a lifestyle, not a one-time fix. I tell my patients, this isn't about drinking wine to escape. It's about drinking wine to engage fully with your life. If you're a man over 60 and you wake up stiff and sore, feel tired in the evenings, or struggle to maintain consistent energy and intimacy, inflammation might be stealing more from you than you think. and a glass of well-chosen rosé could be part of your comeback plan. But like everything I recommend, it's about intention, not excess, not indulgence. Just smart, steady choices that honor your body's current needs. Frank now keeps a few bottles of dry rosé in his kitchen. He told me, "I never thought I'd be a wine guy, but if this is what gets me back in the game, count me in." That's the transformation I live for. Not just harder erections, but a renewed sense of identity, power, and presence. So if you've overlooked rosé because of how it looks, maybe it's time to take another look. Because what matters isn't how a wine looks, it's what it does for the man drinking it. 5. Red wine infused with olive leaf extract. The erectile elixir. Walter was 66 years old when he came to my office. He looked worn out, not sick, just tired. Tired of the pills, tired of the effort, tired of the constant feeling that his body wasn't keeping up anymore. "Doc," he said, "sometimes I get there, but it never lasts. It's like I'm always holding on by a thread." I knew exactly what he meant. It wasn't just about getting an erection. It was about keeping it, trusting it, not feeling like you're fighting your own body every time intimacy begins. For men like Walter, I often recommend something most doctors never talk about: red wine infused with olive leaf extract. Now I know it sounds unusual. Olive leaves in wine? But let me explain. Olive leaf extract contains a powerful compound called oleuropein. This natural ingredient is one of the best-kept secrets in vascular health. It helps lower blood pressure, reduce arterial stiffness, and most importantly for men like Walter, increase nitric oxide. If you've been paying attention throughout this video, you've heard me say it before. Nitric oxide is the gas pedal of your erection. It tells your blood vessels to open wide, to let blood rush in fast and fully. Without enough nitric oxide, erections are weak, short-lived, or non-existent. But with the right support, your body can produce more. And olive leaf extract is one of the safest, most natural ways to make that happen. When you combine that with a dry red wine rich in polyphenols and resveratrol, like Cabernet Sauvignon or Syrah, you get a powerful synergy. The wine helps dilate blood vessels and fight inflammation. The olive leaf lowers blood pressure and boosts nitric oxide. Together, they create the perfect environment for strong, lasting erections. I suggested Walter try a small glass of this infused wine 3 nights a week, always with dinner. No more than 5 ounces. No drinking late into the night. Just smart, targeted use. Within a month, he came back with a different look in his eyes. "It's not just that I can get hard," he said. "It's that I'm not worried anymore. My body feels like it's back on my side." That sense of peace, of confidence, it's what I want every man to feel. And this wine helps you get there, because it tackles the problem from multiple angles. High blood pressure is one of the biggest silent killers of male performance. It constricts blood flow, it taxes the heart, and it slowly chips away at your ability to maintain an erection. Olive leaf extract counteracts all of that, but it doesn't stop at nitric oxide. This combination also supports healthy cholesterol, protects against oxidative stress, and reduces inflammation. All critical factors in male sexual health. The wine delivers the nutrients. The olive leaf extract amplifies the effect, and together they nourish your vascular system in a way no pill ever could. Now, if you can't find this blend in stores, don't worry. You can make it yourself. Simply add a few drops of high-quality olive leaf extract to your favorite dry red wine. Start with just 2 or 3 times per week. And always drink with food. That helps your body process the wine more effectively and ensures you get the benefits without the side effects. I've seen this approach work for men in their 60s, 70s, even 80s. Men who thought their best years were gone. Men who were ready to give up. And yet, when they gave their body the right tools, the right fuel, it responded. Not overnight, not like flipping a switch, but gradually, steadily, in a way that felt real and reliable. So if you're someone who's tried everything, medications, supplements, fancy diets, and still feels like you're missing something, maybe this is the missing link. Maybe what your body needs isn't more force, but more flow. Not more pressure, but better support. That's what this wine offers. Remember, it's not about the wine itself. It's about what it represents. A smarter approach, a way to work with your body instead of against it. A chance to restore the trust, the vitality, and the pleasure that age may have dulled, but never destroyed. Walter found his rhythm again. He found his confidence, and you can too. 6. Bonus tips to maximize wine's effect on erections. Drinking the right wine can absolutely support your sexual performance. But if you want to turn that support into real, lasting results, the habits around your wine matter just as much as the wine itself. I've worked with hundreds of older men who all drank the same wine. Yet some experienced a powerful transformation, while others noticed little to no change. What separated them wasn't their age or their health. It was how they supported the wine with smarter daily actions. Let me show you what works. First, never drink wine on an empty stomach. When your stomach is empty, alcohol hits your system faster, spikes your blood sugar, and puts unnecessary strain on your liver and hormonal balance. Instead, pair your wine with a balanced meal that includes healthy fats. Think olive oil, avocado, nuts, or fatty fish like salmon. These fats help your body absorb the antioxidants in the wine more effectively and keep your blood sugar stable, which protects your testosterone and improves vascular function. Second, walk after dinner. It might sound simple, but a 15-minute stroll after your evening meal can do wonders. Walking increases blood circulation, helps process the nutrients from your meal, and boosts nitric oxide levels naturally. I had one patient, James, who added this habit to his routine: 1 glass of wine with dinner, then a walk with his wife around the block. After 3 weeks, he said he felt younger, more energized, and yes, firmer in the mornings. Hydration is another overlooked key. Wine is still alcohol, and alcohol is a diuretic. That means it pulls water from your body. If you're not replacing that water, your blood thickens, your circulation slows, and your erections suffer. So here's the rule. For every glass of wine, drink a full glass of water. No exceptions. This one habit can protect your liver, maintain hormone balance, and ensure that the wine works for your erections, not against them. Next, focus on your sleep. Testosterone is produced during deep sleep, especially in the early hours of the morning. If you're drinking wine too late at night, it can disrupt your sleep cycle, reduce the quality of your rest, and blunt your hormone production. That's why I recommend enjoying your wine with dinner, ideally 3 to 4 hours before bed. This timing allows your body to metabolize the alcohol before you hit your deepest sleep stages, preserving your natural testosterone rhythm. Now let's talk food synergy. Certain foods work with wine to amplify its benefits. Foods high in natural nitrates like beets, spinach, and arugula help increase nitric oxide levels. When combined with the polyphenols in wine, they create a powerful environment for healthy erections. A small beet salad, some sautéed spinach, or a handful of arugula with olive oil can turn your meal into a performance-boosting powerhouse. Consistency is key. I see too many men try these changes for a few days, then give up when they don't see instant results. But your body doesn't work like a switch. It works like a system. Systems respond to patterns. If you commit to these changes, even just 3 or 4 nights a week, your body will begin to adapt. Blood flow will improve. Hormones will stabilize, and performance will come back. Not as a fluke, but as a new baseline. Lastly, make your environment work for you. Stress is one of the biggest killers of male performance. It constricts blood vessels, increases cortisol, and lowers testosterone. So create an evening ritual that relaxes you. That might be soft music, dim lighting, a quiet dinner with your partner, or even a short breathing exercise before bed. The more you calm your nervous system, the more your body can enter a state of repair. And that repair is where transformation begins. All these tips aren't just about erections. They're about building a body that works, a life that feels good, and a routine that supports your masculinity with every choice you make. A small glass of wine, when paired with these habits, becomes more than a drink. It becomes a strategy, a commitment, a path back to strength, vitality, and control. So start tonight. Choose the right wine, pair it with a smart meal, walk, hydrate, rest, repeat. The benefits are waiting. You just need to give your body the right invitation. If you've made it to the end, let me say this. What you just learned isn't really about wine. It's about reclaiming control, reclaiming vitality, reclaiming the part of yourself that maybe you thought had faded with age. I've spent over 30 years helping men just like you, and the biggest transformation I see isn't in their blood work or even their bedroom. It's in their belief. The belief that it's not too late. That improvement is possible. That their body still wants to work with them, not against them. These 5 wines, Pinot Noir, Cabernet Sauvignon, blueberry wine, rosé, and olive leaf-infused red, aren't magic. But they are tools. Tools backed by science, refined by nature, and made more powerful by the habits you build around them. When you use them with care, when you support them with smart meals, movement, sleep, and hydration, you start to notice changes. Better circulation, more energy, stronger erections, deeper confidence. And that changes everything. Because erections aren't just about sex, they're about what it feels like to be alive, to be connected, to be in your body without fear or frustration. They're a signal that your health is working, that your systems are communicating, that your spirit hasn't given up. So tonight, as you sit down with your glass, whether it's Pinot or rosé, remember this isn't indulgence. This is investment in your performance, in your confidence, in your future. You're not done yet, not even close. And if this message resonated with you, please hit the like button, share it with someone who needs it, and drop a comment below with what wine you're excited to try first. I'd love to hear from you. Your journey doesn't end here. In fact, it might just be beginning.